I'm out at Life360 Community Services with CEO Ted Cedarblom. Ted, I am loving hearing about everything that you do in our community, but I'm also just so amazed by how much you've grown since then. So first of all, just tell us what Life360 Community Services is for anyone who's not familiar with that.
Absolutely. Life360 Community Services is a nonprofit. It's the action arm of our church, Life360 Church, but it's an action arm for our whole community. People come in and volunteer, over 200 employees, and we're in communities all across the Ozarks, making a difference in reversing poverty through education, through feeding, through housing, and empowerment.
Yeah, and you have grown beyond the Ozarks into some other states, right? What all states are you in right now?
Ozarks all the way across to the Delta, so that's outside over there in the Boot Heel, and then in Arkansas, we have several towns there, and now we've moved to Michigan also, in the Bay City area of Michigan.
So when you go into these towns, like, what is your whole premise? Like, you walk in with this community services, like, how does it work?
Absolutely. So we call every place that we go, we call it a community development partnership, because we come in with and become a stakeholder in the community. We find the best parts of that town or that community, and every community, no matter how bad they are off, they have their best parts. And what we found is that the public schools are one of the best parts of these communities. So we come in and we partner with them, a community development partnership, and see how can we help. So we feed students within the school, 29,000 students, every day, every school day. And then through those partnerships, then we also help provide jobs. We try to give empowerment, things like Jobs for Life, training how to be able to do job interviews and how to hold down a job, provide housing for different ones, especially post-foster age 18 to 24. We provide housing and wraparound services to try to help them become productive members of society, which is really everyone's interest. For those who are down and out, it's to help them to be able to step up and to become that productive member, that citizen that I think everybody wants to be.
Yeah, and in doing that, I know you're really cutting off like generational poverty. And you were telling me a story earlier. I mean, you talk about 29,000 students that you feed, which just blows my mind. But you can narrow that down to stories about one individual child and how that is changing their life. So tell me about one of those examples.
So in Birch Tree, Missouri, we have Life360 Birch Tree. And our people are there. It's a community development partnership. And so we have a packing site there. We feed every kid in the Birch Tree School District. And one day, there was a little girl named Sophia who came up. She had just finished punching a little boy right in the nose. So she was a scrapper, and she had to be that way because she was unsupervised and she was hungry. And boy, we do things when we're hungry and there's no one around. But Sophia came to our packing site and she asked for food because she wanted to bring some home for her family. But the friendship came there. Not only was there food provided, but then we have wraparound services. We started to have times with Sophia where she got plugged in so that now at 8 years of age, this is just in the last few months, when she gets off the school bus, she walks from her house a few doors down from our packing site. She comes over and she volunteers, an 8-year-old volunteering to help get the food ready for the next school day. And her friends will come by, for instance, and they'll say, "Hey, Sophia, come on out and play." She goes, no, I gotta work to help get this food ready. And there's an 8-year-old who gets it. Plus it's making a difference in her family.
Yeah, and probably changing the generations in her family to come.
Generations is the truth, because here it is, our packing site in Birch Tree is right across the street from an old shoe factory. Back when manufacturing was in America, that shoe factory's been empty for decades. But now we're working with the city officials to see if we can get that shoe factory converted into a community center, a place where people can come, where kids can come after school and families can come. It's again part of a process of being a development partner for a town like Birch Tree, or here in Springfield in the Grant Beach area. I could tell you for our Grant Beach Zone 1 area of Springfield Metro, there's Nate, 11 years old. And Nate comes again from a family, he's unsupervised, and he's having to live it in a rough situation. But he came, he asked for food, he wanted to bring it for his family. Now we have wraparound services trying to help Nate lift out of a poverty cycle.
Amazing. So real quick, tell me just like the names of some of the other programs that you do here as well.
Right. So for instance, Children's Business Fair, I'm so excited about that. It's such an entrepreneurial twist to it for children. and teenagers to be able to entrepreneurially design a product and then bring it before the community and have people be interested, actually purchase it. And so we have, and it's coming up, in fact, December 3rd, here in Springfield, up on C Street. We're working with Commercial Street and the different shop owners and business folks there, so that 100 plus kids will show their wares. They learn how to sell a product. They learn how to then take, orders for it, and then they earn the dollars. But most importantly, they kind of learn this thing called capitalism. It's a good thing, and they learn to be an entrepreneur, and that business cycle within them. They're going to succeed in life as they learn this, even as a 6th grader or a 4th grader.
You're doing so much training in so many different ways. I see volunteers. I assume that you constantly need volunteers. If people want more information on what you do, how they can get involved, about donating their time or their money, how do they find you?
We're right here at the corner of Division and Glenstone in the old Price Cutter grocery store. They can also go to our website, life360communityservices.org. And there's a phone number there. And we would love, in any way they want to, we can come. Every one of these totes here is a classroom where some kids are going to be eating the food that's in that. And it's simple enough, or they can come and certainly they can donate to. That would always be put to good use.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much. Y'all come check out all the services they have here and see how you can help.